The Haven Sleep Story? Have you ever wondered what it feels like to step into a world where magic still whispers through ancient trees and mythical creatures roam freely under starlit skies? Tonight, you're about to discover just that in a place called The Haven, where extraordinary encounters await those brave enough to follow a mysterious white stag into the unknown. This gentle journey will ease your mind and body into the most peaceful sleep you've had in ages. So settle yourself down somewhere wonderfully comfortable. Let your eyelids grow heavy and allow yourself to breathe deeply and slowly. Feel that lovely sensation as your shoulders drop and your muscles begin to soften with each gentle breath you take. Picture yourself stepping outside on one of those absolutely perfect days when everything seems touched by an invisible hand of tranquility. The world around you glows with the most vivid emerald hues you've ever witnessed. You pause just beyond your doorstep, filling your lungs with air so pure and refreshing it feels like drinking from a crystal-clear mountain spring. There's something almost magical about the quality of light today, the way it dances through leaves and sparkles on morning dew. An elderly woman emerges from her charming little cottage nearby, her face creased with the kind of gentle smile that speaks of decades of wisdom and kindness. Together, you begin strolling down the winding country lane, your footsteps creating a soft rhythm on the worn path beneath. The sunshine feels like silk against your skin as it filters through towering hedges that burst with the most magnificent wild roses you've ever seen. Their perfume mingles with the sweet aroma of freshly warmed grass, creating nature's own aromatherapy blend that seems designed specifically to calm your racing thoughts. This is one of those rare, precious days when everything feels absolutely right with the world. The kind of day where time seems to slow down and allow you to truly savor each moment. The local farmers have begun their hay cutting, and the distinctive scent of newly mown grass drifts across the countryside like the most wonderfully drowsy cologne, making your eyelids feel pleasantly heavy even as you walk. When you finally reach the grand old manor house, it stands before you like something from a beloved fairy tale. The ancient stone walls seem to radiate warmth and welcome in the golden afternoon light. A distinguished gentleman with twinkling eyes appears at the impressive front entrance, gesturing for you to step inside with the kind of genuine hospitality that makes you feel immediately at home. He guides you through corridors lined with memories into a magnificent sun-drenched parlor that takes your breath away. Everything about this space whispers of comfort and care. The furniture, though clearly vintage, has been lovingly maintained and polished until it gleams. There's the faintest hint of beeswax in the air, mixed with the divine fragrance of this summer S-Force roses that have been carefully arranged in delicate china vases throughout the room. Crimson, blush pink, pristine white, and burnished gold petals have begun to drift lazily onto polished surfaces, creating nature's own confetti. Your gaze wanders to the walls, which are adorned with the most extraordinary collection of paintings. Each canvas depicts scenes from around the haven, places you recognize with a warm feeling of familiarity. You find yourself wondering whether the distinguished gentleman created these masterpieces himself. There's also an intriguing map mounted prominently, identical to the one the kind elderly lady had shown you earlier. From this lovely room, you can glimpse the rear gardens stretching out like a verdant paradise. The lawn has been trimmed to perfection, but beyond that formal area lies something far more enchanting. A wild, silvery expanse alive with countless wildflowers dancing in the gentle breeze, stretching all the way to what appears to be an ancient orchard heavy with fruit. The gentleman expresses his genuine delight at your visit as afternoon tea is presented on fine bone china. Everything you could possibly desire has been provided with thoughtful attention to detail. Alongside the perfectly brewed tea, there's rich, aromatic coffee and refreshing cold beverages, each served at exactly the right temperature. The conversation flows as smoothly as honey, comfortable and unhurried, while soft air drifts silently through the bright room like invisible silk. Once you've finished your tea, your attention returns to those captivating paintings adorning the walls. You study them with fresh eyes, noticing details that escaped you before. One particular piece, rendered in the most ethereal misty greens, seems to call out to you with an almost magnetic pull. The gentleman notices your fascination and explains that this depicts a sacred place known simply as the Grove. He directs your attention back to that fascinating map you spotted earlier. Rising from your comfortable chair, you move closer to examine the ancient parchment more carefully. A clearly marked pathway winds from this very manor house, meandering through the manicured gardens and into the wild orchard beyond. It continues across what looks like an open meadow before disappearing into dense woodland. Right in the heart of those woods, the grove is marked with the simple yet intriguing sketch of a delicate flower. The elderly lady, who has joined your little gathering, leans forward with eyes that sparkle with ancient secrets. She explains in a voice soft as velvet that this special bloom is called the star flower, and her expression suggests she knows far more about it than she's initially letting on. You settle back into your chair as she begins to weave a tale that seems to blur the lines between reality and enchantment. She speaks of hidden corners within, the haven where the magic of the ancient fairy folk bubbles up from underground springs of pure wonder. In these extraordinary places, she whispers, you might discover treasures that belong more to their mystical realm than to our ordinary world. The starflower, she reveals with a knowing smile, is one of these rare and precious gifts from another dimension entirely. The distinguished gentleman nods sagely, adding that this miraculous bloom appears so infrequently that no living soul has ever actually witnessed its flowering. It exists more as legend than reality, he explains, something whispered about in hushed tones around crackling fireplaces on winter nights. To even hope for a glimpse, he suggests, with a mysterious twinkle in his eye, one would need to recognize the proper signs and receive a very special sort of invitation. Indeed, your visit to this wonderful manor proves absolutely delightful. Despite its grand proportions, the house radiates warmth and welcome from every corner. It feels like stepping into the embrace of a beloved grandmother's home, where love has been absorbed into the very walls over countless generations. The gardens surrounding the property are nothing short of spectacular, clearly tended by someone who understands that true beauty comes from patience and devotion. The gentleman takes genuine pride in showing you through his outdoor sanctuary. He guides you to the orchard, where apple blossoms lie scattered across the emerald grass like nature's own wedding confetti. With a gentle gesture, he indicates a weathered wooden gate on the far side that leads toward the mysterious woodland you glimpsed on the map. The grove, he mentions quietly, lies waiting somewhere in those shadowy depths. Though the distance isn't particularly daunting for an adventurous soul, your peaceful walk back home takes you past the elderly lady's cottage, Once more, she bids you farewell beside her charming garden gate, leaving you with cryptic words about signs and invitations. Having spent considerable time in the haven by now, she suggests with that enigmatic smile, you should be quite familiar with such magical concepts. You think immediately of your encounters with the magnificent white stag and those mysterious objects that seem to appear just when you needed them most. These thoughts accompany you as you make your way home through the gathering dusk. Later, as you prepare for bed, the events of the day swirl through your mind like a gentle whirlpool of wonder and possibility. The night settles around your cottage with the kind of profound stillness that only exists in truly peaceful places. You've left your bedroom window slightly ajar to welcome the sweet evening air, and the only sound breaking the perfect silence is the soft, rhythmic hooting of an owl somewhere across the darkened fields and woodlands. Your bed feels like absolute heaven tonight, with crisp, freshly laundered sheets that smell of sunshine and lavender. You sink into the mattress with a contented sigh, feeling your body melt into complete relaxation. Sleep beckons with gentle fingers, and you surrender willingly to its embrace. But sometime during the deep hours of night, something stirs in the depths of your subconscious mind. It's not an unpleasant awakening, quite the opposite. In fact, you drift back to gentle consciousness with the smooth grace of a leaf floating on still water. Something indefinable has drawn you back from the realm of dreams, some ancient instinct that whispers of wonder waiting just beyond your window. The landscape outside has been transformed by moonlight into something that belongs more to fairy tales than the waking world. Everything glows with ethereal silver radiance, as if the moon has sprinkled magical dust across the entire countryside. And there, standing motionless as a marble statue in the absolutely windless night, is the white stag you've encountered before. You can't quite recall the journey from your warm bed to the cool night air outside. It's as if your feet moved of their own accord, guided by some deeper knowing than conscious thought. The majestic creature waits patiently on the quiet lane, and only when you draw near does it acknowledge your presence with a single, graceful toss of its magnificent antlered head. The message is unmistakable. You are meant to follow. The stag's hooves make absolutely no sound as they touch the tarmac surface of the lane. It moves with the silence of morning mist, creating an otherworldly procession as you find yourself walking behind this mystical guide. The night air caresses your skin with such gentleness that you barely feel you're moving at all. It is more like floating through a vivid dream where every sensation is heightened yet somehow softened around the edges. As you pass beside the woodland that borders the lane, your ears pick up the most delicate sounds of nocturnal life. Sleeping birds rustle and flutter gently among the branches above, while somewhere in the grass-lined ditch, a tiny field mouse scurries about its midnight business. These small sounds, rather than disturbing the peace, actually enhance the magical quality of your moonlit journey. The elderly lady's cottage appears ahead, its windows dark, and the entire building seemingly wrapped in the deepest, most peaceful slumber. Her gardens look like something from an enchanted realm, with silver-touched flowers nodding drowsily in the still air. You glide past like a ghost, feeling as though you're refloating rather than walking through this transformed landscape that you know so well in daylight, but which has become something entirely otherworldly under the moon's gentle influence. Everything familiar has taken on what can only be described as a sacred quality in this silvered light. Yet despite the magical transformation, you remain completely aware of the haven's protective embrace. There's an invisible shield of safety surrounding this special place, a guardian energy that watches over all who find their way here. The white stag itself seems to embody this protection, serving as both guide and guardian, moving with the stately grace of ancient royalty while ensuring your well-being with every step. You can almost sense the gentle sleep of the haven's other inhabitants, feel the deep restfulness that permeates every cottage and garden. It's as if the entire village breathes as one, rising and falling in the rhythm of perfect, peaceful slumber. Even the night itself seems to rest, held in a bubble of absolute tranquility that nothing can disturb. The lane curves gracefully to the left, leading down toward the village center and the harbor beyond. Great clouds of May blossom from ancient hawthorn trees gleam like scattered pearls in the moonlight, their intoxicating fragrance filling the air with the very essence of late spring. The entire pathway seems to emit its own faint, magical glow, providing just enough illumination to show you the way without disturbing the dreamy quality of your midnight adventure. This ethereal light guides you to the turning that leads toward the railway station and, beyond that, to the manor house you visited earlier in the day. The station master's cottage sits in peaceful darkness as you glide past, its windows reflecting the moon like sleepy eyes. The trees lining this stretch of lane have burst into their full summer glory, creating a canopy of leaves that filters the moonlight into dancing patterns of silver and shadow. The white stag moves through these dappled patches of light, like a creature born of station itself, its coat gleaming with an inner radiance that seems to come from some source beyond the moon above. A little further along your mystical journey, you spot a familiar figure in the distance. The gentleman from the manor stands silhouetted against the star-scattered sky, his dark shape somehow reassuring rather than startling in this landscape of dreams and wonder. The great house slumbers as peacefully as everything else in the haven, but you notice that the front gates stand wide open, as if expecting your arrival. The sweeping lawns beyond glisten with the first hints of evening dew, though somehow your feet remain completely dry as you pass across the perfectly manicured grass. This stag leaves no trace of his passage either, moving with such otherworldly grace that he might be made of moonbeams and starlight rather than flesh and bone. Your path leads across the lawn to the orchard you admired earlier, and in the perfect stillness of the night, something magical begins to happen. Apple blossom petals start drifting down like the gentlest snow, settling on the stag's gleaming coat and decorating your hair and shoulders with nature's own blessing. Each falling petal feels like a tiny kiss of approval from the ancient spirits that watch over this sacred place. At the far end of the orchard stands another gate, and like all the barriers on this enchanted evening, it swings open to welcome your passage. Beyond stretches a small meadow bathed in silver light, its grass rippling gently in barely perceptible breezes. At the meadow's far edge, tall trees rise majestically into the crystal-clear night, their topmost branches seeming to cradle the very stars themselves in their leafy embrace. The white stag pauses at the edge of this woodland, raising its noble head as if listening to voices only it can hear. Then, in a moment that takes your breath away, the creature seems to simply melt into the shadows between the trees, disappearing so completely you might think you'd imagined the entire encounter. But then you spot it again, a glimpse of white deeper among the trunks, and you notice a narrow track leading into the mysterious forest. This woodland feels entirely different from any you've encountered before, even the enchanted fairy wood near your cottage. You sensed immediately that you've entered a borderland, a place where two worlds meet and overlap in the most extraordinary ways. The trees here stand like ancient sentinels, their pale trunks rising like pillars in some vast, natural cathedral, their crowns spread far above your head, creating a ceiling of leaves that seems to touch the very heavens. Moonlight filters down through this living canopy, casting everything in the most beautiful, misty luminescence you've ever witnessed. The narrow path winds gracefully between these guardian trees, and you notice that delicate white flowers bloom along its edges, releasing the coolest, most refreshing fragrance into the night air. Each breath you take seems to carry their essence directly to your soul, filling you with an indescribable sense of peace and wonder. There's something timelessly mysterious about this woodland, as if it exists in a space between moments, where the normal rules of distance and duration simply don't apply. Perhaps it's the dreamlike quality of this entire midnight adventure, but the forest feels far vaster than it should, stretching away into silvery infinity in all directions. Each step along the winding path takes you deeper, not just into the woods, but into the very heart of ancient magic itself. Eventually, the white stag comes to a complete halt before what appears to be an impenetrable wall of vegetation, blocking the pathway ahead. As you approach more cautiously, you can see moonlight glinting off enormous thorns that would make passage seem utterly impossible. You pause, uncertain, looking to your mystical guide for direction. The magnificent creature tosses its head once more and steps gracefully aside, clearly indicating that you should continue forward despite the apparent barrier. With considerable hesitation, you extend your hand toward the forbidding wall of greenery. The moment your fingers near the thorns, something absolutely miraculous occurs. With a sound like the gentlest of sighs carried on evening wind, the entire wall of vegetation begins to part before you. The thorns, despite their menacing appearance, bend away without so much as brushing your skin. A clear passage opens between walls of green, creating a doorway that seems carved specifically for your arrival. The thorns glitter like emeralds in the moonlight, beautiful rather than threatening as you step carefully through this living gateway. What lies beyond takes your breath away completely. You've entered the grove itself, that sacred place depicted in the manor's mysterious painting. It's a circular clearing wrapped in cool green shadows and bathed in the most ethereal moonlight imaginable. Looking up through the canopy of ancient branches, you see a single star blazing with unusual brilliance directly overhead, its light seeming to pour down like liquid silver into this holy space. In the very center of the grove grows a bush, unlike anything you've ever encountered. It stands roughly at your height, its leaves narrow and glossy, catching the starlight like scattered jewels. Yet despite the perfect growing conditions and the obvious magic of this place, you can see no flowers blooming on its graceful branches. The plant seems to be waiting for something, holding its breath in anticipation of some momentous event. You stand perfectly still, every sense heightened as you listen for some sign or signal about what you should do next. The single star continues to blaze overhead with increasing intensity, and its light begins to feel genuinely warm against your upturned palm. A profound sense of gratitude washes over you as you realize the incredible honor of being allowed into this sacred space. Very few mortals, you suspect, have ever been granted such a privilege. Then it happens. A sound like the whisper of ancient voices begins to run through the grove, carried on a breeze so gentle you can barely feel it against your skin. You strain to make out words in what sounds almost like a language, but it's far too old and mysterious for your modern understanding. The syllables seem to dance just beyond comprehension, like trying to remember a half-forgotten dream. Suddenly, the bush in the center of the grove begins to shimmer and quiver with energy. Light races up its stems and along every leaf like liquid starfire. And before your amazed eyes, something truly miraculous begins to unfold. A single flower opens with breathtaking slowness, its slender petals spreading outward in the perfect shape of a five-pointed star. The bloom glows with its own inner radiance, pulsing gently like a tiny lighthouse in the darkness. Its perfume is unlike anything that exists in the ordinary world, a scent so pure and otherworldly that it seems to bypass your nose entirely and speak directly to your soul. There's something almost metallic about its appearance, as if it's been crafted from the finest silver or carved from gleaming white marble by the hands of celestial artisans. You stare in absolute wonder, hardly daring to breathe lest you disturb this miraculous moment. Almost without thinking, you begin to reach toward the extraordinary flower. But before your fingers can make contact, something even more amazing occurs. The starflower releases itself from its stem of its own accord, floating gently through the air to land directly in your open palm. The moment it touches your skin, you realize this is no ordinary bloom. It has weight and substance, feeling more like an exquisite piece of jewelry than a delicate flower. As you cradle it carefully, a voice begins to echo through the grove, quiet yet carrying an unmistakable power that seems to come from the very earth beneath your feet. The words are clear and urgent. You must keep this gift incredibly safe, understanding that your time in this sacred space has come to an end. You carefully retrace your steps through the magical grove. The starflower seems to pulse gently in your palm, warm and somehow alive, despite its unusual weight and texture. You move in that same dreamlike state that has characterized this entire extraordinary evening, floating rather than walking back toward the living gateway of thorns. The white stag waits for you just beyond the grove's entrance, and when its great, intelligent eyes fall upon the starflower in your possession, you see a flash of what can only be described as satisfaction and approval. This, you understand with sudden clarity, is exactly why the majestic creature led you on this midnight quest. Everything has unfolded precisely as it was meant to from the very beginning. In a movement so fluid it seems choreographed by invisible dancers. The stag lowers itself gracefully to the forest floor and waits with infinite patience. Though in broad daylight the idea of riding such a wild creature might seem absurd or even frightening, on this night of wonders it feels like the most natural thing in the world. You settle onto the stag's back with surprising ease, feeling completely secure. despite the unusual circumstances. The magnificent animal rises smoothly beneath you and immediately breaks into the most extraordinary run you could ever imagine. There's no jarring, no sense of danger or instability whatsoever. Instead, you feel as though you're gliding on a cloud of pure grace and power. The sensation is utterly magical, like flying without ever leaving the ground, as the stag carries you swiftly back through the enchanted woodland. You pass once again between those towering sentinel trees with their pale, pillar-like trunks, their crowns seeming to brush the very stars as you race beneath. The speed of your passage creates the only breeze you've felt during this perfectly still night, and it caresses your face like the gentlest blessing from ancient forest spirits. The stag carries you out of the mystical woodland and across the moonlit meadow with the fluid grace of flowing water. You cross through the orchard where blossom petals continue their gentle snowfall, through the manor's sleeping gardens and into the familiar lanes that will guide you safely home. The entire countryside remains wrapped in peaceful slumber, with only the moon and scattered stars as witnesses to your incredible midnight ride. When you reach the gate of your own cottage, the white stag once again lowers itself with that same fluid grace, allowing you to dismount onto the quiet road. As you stand there with the precious starflower still glowing softly in your palm, the noble creature bows its magnificent head in what feels like both farewell and blessing. Then it turns and walks away into the night, soon disappearing toward the distant fairy would like a vision. Returning to the realm of dreams, you enter your home with a heart full of wonder and gratitude, climbing the familiar stairs to your bedroom with careful, reverential steps. At your window, you pause to gaze out across the darkened fields, thinking you catch one final glimpse of white gleaming in the distance as your mystical guide vanishes back into its own mysterious world. Looking down at the extraordinary flower still resting in your palm, you examine it more closely by the gentle moonlight streaming through your window. The white petals seem to radiate their own soft luminescence, holding within their delicate curves what looks like tiny flecks of starlight itself. The fragrance remains fresh and otherworldly, unlike anything that grows in ordinary gardens or wild meadows. You find yourself wondering about the deeper meaning of this precious gift, what cosmic significance it might hold, and what responsibilities might come with possessing such a rare treasure. Tomorrow, you decide you'll seek out the wise elderly lady and share your extraordinary experience. Something tells you she will, and be the least bit surprised that you were chosen to receive such a magical blessing. As you breathe in the flower's celestial fragrance once more, an overwhelming wave of drowsiness begins to wash over you. The perfume seems to carry its own gentle sleep magic, inviting your mind and body to surrender completely to rest after your incredible quest. You carefully place the precious starflower in the drawer of your bedside table, ensuring it will be safe while you sleep. Climbing back into your welcoming bed, you notice how the moonlight continues to paint pale, calming patterns on your bedroom walls. A slight breeze has begun to stir the trees outside your window, causing the silver light to shimmer and dance in the most soothing way imaginable. You arrange yourself comfortably among your soft pillows and fresh sheets, knowing that tomorrow will bring much to contemplate and perhaps even more wonders to discover. But for now, in this perfect moment, suspended between magical adventure and peaceful rest, All you need to do is close your eyes and allow sleep to claim you once again. Your dreams, when they come, are filled with shadowy woodlands and secret groves hidden in their depths, where impossible flowers bloom under. Ancient starlight and white stags carry chosen souls on journeys that exist somewhere between sleeping and waking, between the world of ordinary things and realms where magic still flows like underground springs of pure wonder and possibility. The starflower glows gently in its drawer nearby, a tangible reminder that miracles still occur for those brave enough to follow mysterious guides into the heart of enchantment itself. Your breathing deepens and slows as you drift away on currents of the most peaceful sleep imaginable, carried by dreams of moonlit adventures and the promise that the haven will always welcome those who seek its magical embrace. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your night. May you find deep peace and restful sleep. Wishing you the sweetest dreams. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.